Hello everybody, today I want to talk about something that I don't usually talk about because it's not really my area and I don't actually know that much about it. I want to talk about the portrayal of rape. Now the general perception of this area of discussion is that it's quite feministy, it's a gender studies sort of thing. It's not really my area, but I do want to talk about it through a perspective that is my area, TV and film. And I want to ask the question, is it ever okay to portray rape in a comedic fashion on TV or in film? Probably the most famous rape in all of film is the 9-minute rape sequence from Irreversible. It is a film that is infamous for its rape scene. I think that scene alone just made its rounds on the internet. A lot of people watched it. I myself watched it in film studies under the module title Shocking Cinema, and boy is it shocking. It's absolutely horrendous because the acting is fucking great, which makes the rape really disturbing. But the thing is, that's not portrayed in a comedic way. So that's fine. It's fine to show that because it's a rape, but it's not making fun of it. But then you get films like The Boat That Rocked, which was released in Canada and the United States as pirate radio. There is a scene in the film where the main character of Carl enlists the help of Nick Frost's character Dave to lose his virginity. The kooky idea that Dave comes up with is that he will initiate sex with his girlfriend, then say, "Sorry, I need to go to the toilet," where Carl will be waiting. With the lights off, Carl will then take Dave's place and have sex with Dave's girlfriend. Now, by pretty much every single definition of rape, that is rape. She might have consented to have sex, but she consented to have sex with Dave, not Carl. And when that film was released, it did get criticised for the rape scene. It got criticised by people like Richard Herring, who is a comedian I actually really like. And I also found this blog by a female Austrian blogger, wherein it says this: "Seriously, you've got two men cold-bloodedly planning a rape with the knowledge of other people, and it's fucking played for laughs." There's a full stop after every single word at the end there, so it's fucking played for laughs. She's making the point that it is made to seem funny. It's portrayed in a comedic fashion. That's the problem. It's not just the rape, it's the fact that they're trying to make a rape funny. Now bear in mind that the rape didn't actually happen. It comedically fails. The girl turns on the light and Carl has to cover his cock and balls with his hands and scurry away. But still, it's a rape. Then you've got an example like the 5th season premiere of 30 Rock. There's a scene where Pete Hornberger talks about having sex with his wife while she's asleep, which is rape. You're not getting consent from that person. It's rape. In that show, 30 Rock, which is a show I incidentally actually really like, Pete Hornberger rapes his wife, and that got criticised because it was made to seem funny. So both those examples got criticised quite heavily. Now let's look at a slightly different example. In the film Wedding Crashers, there is a scene where Vince Vaughn's character is gagged, tied to a bed, and raped by a woman. He does not give her consent to have sex with him, and he protests this, but then she gags him. Then she has sex with him. That is rape. That scene did not get criticised nearly as much as the previous two examples. Why? A lot of people believe that it's because in the film, the person getting raped was a man. They're saying that because there's this perception that maybe men can't get raped, or that, you know, men need to be tough and strong, and that they should always want sex and never turn it down. This has contributed to a double standard wherein it's seen as more acceptable to rape a man. And this got criticised a whole lot less. However, it did get criticised a bit. And it's important to note that in all these examples, they are non-violent rapes. No one has beat anyone up, held them down, and raped them. They've all been rapes in which there is no consent given, therefore it's rape, but it's not violent. But let's move on to another example. There is a short film called Eating Las Vegas. It is a 40-minute spoof of the film Leaving Las Vegas. In Leaving Las Vegas, Nick Cage is a man who decides he's going to drink himself to death in Las Vegas, but meets a prostitute and falls in love with her. In Eating Las Vegas, Brad Grunberg plays a guy who is a compulsive overeater, and he decides that he's going to go to Las Vegas and eat himself to death. There, however, he meets a prostitute who has, I think, bulimia. And it's a funny little story about two people who both have eating disorders, albeit in different directions. And it's a look at their relationship while at the same time parodying Leaving Las Vegas. I watched that film on the internet. I'll see if I can put a link in the description to that, and I thought that generally it was a pretty good short film. If you've got a spare 40 minutes, it's a good film to watch. But why am I bringing this film up? It's because at 34 minutes and 10 seconds in, there is a rape scene. What happens is the main character is tricked into going into a hotel room by 3 lesbians. One of the lesbians then punches him, the other 2 hold him down, and the first one then anally rapes him with a strap on. So that is a rape scene where someone is punched, held down, and forcibly penetrated with a fucking strap-on. As far as I can tell, that has not been criticised at all. Now this might just be because it's not as big of a film. The Boat That Rocked and that episode of 30 Rock were watched by way more people. But at the same time, if that film had been made and the roles had been reversed, that it was I don't know, 3 gay guys holding down a straight woman, punching her in the face and then raping her, and it had been made under the exact same circumstances with the exact same budget, I don't think that it's too presumptuous to say that there would have been a fucking uproar, and it would have gained a whole lot more attention than the real Eating Las Vegas did. And here's the thing, it was portrayed comedically. It was a funny scene. Directly after that scene happens, there are jokes written into the film that directly make fun of this guy getting raped. I think it was a taxi driver saying something like, "You need to cover your ass." So basically you've got two extremes. In the example of The Boat That Rocks, you've got an attempted rape that didn't actually happen, that was non-violent, that got criticised like hell. At the other end of the spectrum, you've got an actual rape that did happen, that was violent, but didn't get criticised hardly at all. Maybe it makes more sense to contrast this with Irreversible. Both the rape scene from Irreversible and the rape scene from Eating Las Vegas were violent, actual rapes. But one was portrayed seriously, dramatically, and the other was portrayed comedically. And it wouldn't have worked the other way around. Why? Because the person getting raped was male. And the thing is, I laughed at that scene. I laughed at the scene in Eating Las Vegas where this guy was getting raped by some fucking lesbians. At the time, I laughed at that. It was only after the film had finished that I thought, wait a second, I just laughed at a violent rape. What the fuck? And the only reason I did laugh at it is because it was a guy getting raped. If that had been a woman getting raped by, well, anyone really, it could have been anyone, gay or straight, male or female, but if that had been a woman getting raped, I probably wouldn't have laughed at it. No matter how comedically it was portrayed, I don't think I would have laughed at it. So I have to go back to my original question. Is it ever okay to portray rape in a comedic fashion on TV and in film? And apparently, the answer is yes. It's okay to portray rape in a comedic fashion on TV and in film as long as the person getting raped is a man. And isn't that fucked up?